Nicotinamide riboside is a very popular dietary supplement with the promise of potentially not only improving lifespan, but health span too. Today, let's talk about the proof that nicotinamide riboside might help heart function in people who have heart failure. This is the study that crossed my computer screen this morning, nicotinamide riboside, a promising therapy for heart attack-induced kidney injury by upregulating NAMPT-mediated NAD levels. So this is an impressive title, but you need to know that this is a mouse study where they injected nicotinamide riboside into the mice that they basically caused to have heart problems. And yeah, I agree, that's kind of cringeworthy. So at the end of the study, they say that nicotinamide riboside could be a potential promising therapy for acute kidney injury following heart attacks. And while I do think that needs to be further clarified, one thing I do want to point out with this study is that there was no improvement in ejection fraction in these mice. Ejection fraction is essentially the percentage or fraction of the blood that is pumped out of the heart each heartbeat, and higher ejection fractions are associated with a greater quality of life and greater ability to do your daily activities. I also want to point out that this is a pre-print review article that has not yet gone through the peer review process, and for me that's a problem. I also want to say that this mouse study came out in 2024, which is weird that the researchers didn't choose to follow up on this earlier clinical trial from 2 years prior that involved humans. 30 men and women who have heart failure and their ejection fractions are less than 40% are given up to 1,000 milligrams of nicotinamide riboside for 3 months. Ejection fractions of 40% or less are bad. These are people who likely had problems walking up a flight of steps. So these researchers are reporting that nicotinamide riboside improves NAD levels in white blood cells, and it also improves the function of the mitochondria as well. These are two things that nicotinamide riboside are touted to do, and several studies have shown that it does indeed raise NAD levels and can improve various measures of mitochondrial function as well. And while that is good news, the not so good news is that ejection fraction did not improve. So in other words, nicotinamide riboside did not appear to have any direct effect on improving heart function. And equally important is that they also had these people do what's called a 6-minute walk test to basically measure how far they can walk in 6 minutes time. Unfortunately, the supplement didn't help them walk any further. So what this means is that, yeah, their NAD levels went up and their mitochondrial function appeared to improve, but it didn't seem to translate into any better quality of life for these individuals. And as further proof, they also gave these people questionnaires of quality of life as well to see if the supplement benefited them in any way, and it didn't. In other words, the people rated that the nicotinamide riboside supplement didn't improve their life in any meaningful way. Unfortunately, these researchers didn't measure cholesterol, LDL, triglycerides, etc., which is weird because they were already looking at people's blood. I also want to offer you this clinical trial as well for your consideration. 89 people with peripheral artery disease are given nicotinamide riboside with or without resveratrol versus a placebo for 6 months. So these are people who don't have low ejection fractions. Rather, they're having trouble walking because they have pain in their legs that is due to atherosclerosis. In this study, they also did a 6-minute walk test as well, and they found that those who were taking nicotinamide riboside by itself, they saw an improvement in the distance covered in 6 minutes by about 102 feet or 31 meters. And as for adding resveratrol to nicotinamide riboside, that combination didn't result in any further improvement in 6-minute walking time versus what you saw with nicotinamide riboside by itself. Now, these results are interesting and they do contrast the previous paper I mentioned. However, I do want to point out that this paper has not yet been replicated by others. Oh, and by the way, the dosage of nicotinamide riboside used in this study was 500 milligrams a day. And I'm also going to link to my other videos on nicotinamide riboside below so you can see the results of other clinical trials too. So for right now, I'm going to maintain a wait-and-see skeptical stance on nicotinamide riboside. From the studies that I have seen so far, it doesn't appear that this supplement causes any negative side effects. However, whether or not you would see real-life, meaningful benefits from taking this supplement, I think requires further study.